Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to Social Wi-Fi webinar today on what is Wi-Fi marketing. This is the first one that we've done in quite a while, so we'll see how it goes. By no means an expert here on doing webinars, so please forgive the casual approach that we might have towards things. So we're broadcasting across a few places. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and a few other places as well. So, but I should get comments. So if you have any questions throughout the webinar, drop the comments into the section, and maybe I'll display some. If you've got any questions that you want to ask, maybe I'll be able to address them throughout the course of this webinar. And let me know where you're watching from as well. We had some registrations from across the globe, so it would be good to know who you are and where you're watching us from. And we'll probably give it a few seconds for people to join. And I need to clear my throat as well, so that was quite nice. So let's play with some buttons here and see what we have. So there'll be people watching that are clients of Social Wi-Fi who should know a bit about what Wi-Fi marketing is and what Social Wi-Fi do. And there were some registrations from people that we don't know. So for those people, we'll probably start right at the beginning and give them an overview of the concept and what we are doing. So I see Mario has joined us from, I think that's in Jamaica. I think Mario is one of our partners. Thank you for joining. So we've got Jamaica ticked off the list to start with. But in this webinar, I'll go through what Wi-Fi marketing is from a generic perspective. It's not just Social Wi-Fi that do this kind of product. There are others out there, and then we'll take a look at what Social Wi-Fi do in particular and why you should choose us instead of some of the other companies that are out there. Let's have a look. What other messages are we getting here? I have Foster from Ghana. Welcome to you, Foster. So we're on 2 continents already. I did prepare a little slideshow for this, but then I am struggling to work out how best to present this because of the way PowerPoint and full screens work. But let's roll with it, and I'll do this in a bit of an amateur manner. But look, a good place to start is why do you need something like Social Wi-Fi? Why do you need your Wi-Fi to do the kind of things we're going to talk about, such as gathering people's data when they log into your Wi-Fi network? Well, in my opinion, the Wi-Fi is just a fraction of what we provide at Social Wi-Fi. We like to think of ourselves as a business that's going to improve your customer and guest experience and your engagement with those customers. So I like to start all discussions with potential clients with asking them, look, do you know who your customers are? And generally in the brick and mortar industries, in hospitality, they don't know who those people are because let's say it's a restaurant or a coffee shop, for example. Customer comes in, they go to the desk, they order a drink, they order some food, they go sit down in a corner, they consume their product, and they leave. Now, do you know anything about that person? And the answer is generally no. So that leads us to the other questions on the list in terms of, do you know how happy your customers are? Yeah, they might let you know if they're happy or unhappy. You could always ask them. But, do you have a mechanism to gather feedback? Do you have a mechanism to gather online reviews? And that's something we're going to focus on heavily throughout this. And then, do your customers come back? Do you have a way of tracking that person? Was that person that's come and had a coffee and sat in the corner? Do you know if that's their first visit? Do you know how often they come? And finally, will they recommend you to a friend? It's often said in sales and marketing that word of mouth recommendations is your best type of referral. And I'll show you some stats in a later slide. It's absolutely proven by research, not by me, but actual researchers show that I think it's 91% of people trust a recommendation from a friend or family member. So have you got any way to ask that person to recommend you if they are happy? And thankfully, these are all things that we do at Social WiFi. We build digital products that helps you address these questions. We want to give you the answer to these questions, because if you don't know the answer to these questions, in my opinion, you have a problem as a business. If you take Amazon, for example, are they still the biggest company in the world? They're up there. How do they make so much money? A big part of that is data. And they know exactly who's on their website. They know what they're looking at. They know how long they're there. They can then track you off Amazon's website and encourage you to spend more money again and again. And that's the key to their success. Now, Amazon isn't the only example of this. A lot of the biggest online and e-commerce companies use the same approach. Data is very important in growing their businesses. But as a brick and mortar business, you're kind of at a disadvantage because you don't have a way to digitally track people coming in and out of your business. Or do you? Because your Wi-Fi network can do that for you. So when we're building our product, we're looking at those 4 questions more than anything. Do the features that we build answer those questions? And at the end of the day, the reason for that is every business in the world, whether it is your business, if you are in hospitality, or you are an e-commerce business, or you sell petrol on a forecourt, you want your customers to come back more often and spend more money with you. And you also want to attract new customers to your business. That's how you grow your revenues. That's how you become rich. That has to be the goal of every single business. So that's at the forefront of our mind when we are developing our product. So 2 key ways that we go about doing that. We want to drive loyalty, which ticks off the first point there on the right-hand side. How do we drive loyalty? Well, you as a business owner are an expert in delivering your service, giving a great experience. And you'll probably hear me use the word experience a lot throughout this webinar. I'm a big believer of the experience economy. People don't buy products, they don't buy services, they buy experiences. So you are probably really great at doing that and making your business a success, but you don't necessarily have all of the time in the world to do digital marketing and do online ads and get people coming back and so on. But there are digital tools out there that can help you with this, like what I'm going to show you today. But with anything digital, it's like a funnel. You need to put things in at the top in order to get the results at the bottom. And if the digital systems don't know who to target, if they don't know who your customers are, then that's a problem. So we need somewhere to start. So this is why customer data capture is such an important part of our service, because without that, we don't have a lot else. So once we capture the data, we are giving you a lot of tools in order to utilize that data and get people coming back more often and attracting and winning new customers. So Hopefully you're still with me at this point. I can see that we have more people here. We have people from Ecuador. We have people from Poland, the United Kingdom. Welcome to you all. I'm glad we are so global with this webinar. So it must be the morning over in the Americas, and it's late afternoon in Europe. I don't think we've got anyone yet from other parts of the world, but yeah, let's keep going. So as I was saying, so we have these two goals. We want more customers becoming repeat spenders. How do we do that? Well, it's through driving loyalty. But how can we get new people coming into your business? Well, the focus for us on that is around word of mouth recommendations. Obviously, you want people to tell their friends, their colleagues, their family members that they had a great time at your business and that they'll come and visit you. But you also would love them to put a recommendation on the internet. Facebook reviews, TripAdvisor, Google reviews, Zomato, Yelp, different sites wherever you are in the world. But you know, there was a scene on a TV series in the UK from the 80s, and it said if you have a good experience, you'll tell 5 people. If you have a bad, you'll tell 9. And that was in the 80s, and it was kind of interesting to look at that. You are more likely to tell people about a bad experience, and the same still applies in 2021. It's just the size of the audience is so much bigger. If any of us go and vent online about the coffee shop example I just gave you, more people are going to read that than the 9 people that would have heard about it in the 80s. So we want to get you positive reviews online. And we also want you to be able to manage the negative feedback that you're getting from your customers. And that is really the premise about finding new customers. Because, if you have more online reviews and they're positive, you're going to rise to the top of the rankings. Tourists, even, local citizens of where you live and work, it's going to be easier for them to find your business and for them to trust your business. So that's how we go about achieving that goal of getting you new customers. And some interesting data we found earlier this year, I think this was research from HubSpot, said that 25% of people trust online advertising. So online advertising is clearly a very popular way of winning new customers, but only 25% of people trust it. Whereas 70% of people trust online reviews. And for us, it was a very interesting thing to think about, because how many businesses invest a lot of money in online ads? They hire people, they put budget directly into Google and Facebook. But how many businesses are investing in a strategy for their online reviews and and managing the feedback that people are getting? So that was, I think those stats are really interesting, and I think businesses could learn a lot from those in order to reassess where they invest their people and money. So a few slides there. I wanted to, the purpose of that is to give you an idea of why we are doing what we're doing. And hopefully that is clear. There's more of an understanding of why Wi-Fi marketing is a thing and how it can help. We'll go into some detail. We'll take a look at our system and what it actually looks like from a social Wi-Fi point of view. But if any of you have any questions at this stage about anything you've seen so far, feel free to put it in the comments, and I might share some of those and answer them as we go through this. So I can see people are asking if they can, if I can send them these slides after the call. I can absolutely do that. Make a note of who is asking for that. And I'm almost out of water already, so that's not a great sign for me. Okay. So, spoken about why we do what we do, let's have a look at how we do it. So, I'm just going to go straight into the Social Wi-Fi dashboard right here. So you are looking at the Social Wi-Fi product as a client. You're not seeing the Wi-Fi login system as yet. I'll demonstrate that shortly. But if you sign up as a business, this is what you are going to see on your back end. Where shall we begin? Let's start with the login process. How are we getting data into your CRM, and who do we know who to target? Well, it starts with Wi-Fi Logging. We integrate with a lot of the enterprise Wi-Fi market. I'll just jump back quickly here to our supported devices page. So if your business has Wi-Fi hardware from any of the brands that you see here, we should be able to set up our service on your network without you buying any additional equipment. And you could be good to go in as quickly as 15 minutes. It's generally a very easy setup process. But once you've got the equipment connected, you want to make some branded login pages. So let's take a look here at this client we have here. So Trent House is just behind me where I'm sat. So just down there is Trent House. So I thought I would use them for today's example. And earlier, I created some branding for them for a Wi-Fi login page, which I think is very nice. For us, it's very important for the Wi-Fi login systems to have the look and feel of your brand. So you will notice on here that there is no mention of Social Wi-Fi. If you dig into the privacy policy, you'll find Social Wi-Fi. But what we want is for Wi-Fi users to trust who is gathering their data. So we have a drag and drop creator here. We drag elements from the right-hand side into the center, and we can, add more content. We can adjust the login options. So let's take off Twitter, and what else should we do? We can turn off Facebook if we don't want it. On an email login, we can ask for just an email. We can collect a first name. We can ask what their gender is. Many options here. We can change the colors on buttons just by using a color picker. We can change text colors. It's kind of like if you've ever used a drag and drop email creator, that is how you will build all of your pages in the Social Wi-Fi system. And we have some really nice wizards that's going to make this process quick and easy for you. So that's the login page. Now, data protection is obviously super important. In Europe, we have the GDPR. In America, they have specific rules depending on what state the company is in. But we handle that on a separate page. We want separate pages for sharing your data and accepting that data is going to be used for contacting. And using the same methods again, we have a drag and drop creator, and we have default text here. But you can adjust that if you have some specific wording from your lawyers or your legal department. And instead of having a click to accept option, we have by default a slider. You swipe right to opt in, and you swipe left to opt out. You can go for a button if you want, and you can brand that up with with colors and curve the edges. But our research shows that the slider is going to get you more opt-ins. We don't know why. We think it's Tinder generation. We think people just naturally swipe to the right. But we give you both options. You can have a button for data opt-in if you want, but the slider is going to get you, statistically speaking, from our research, is going to get you more opt-ins. So once again, nice branded user acceptance pages. It's got your details on there and not ours. And then after that, you have a few choices. You can create a welcome page using our drag and drop creators. So in here, I've just got an image, which I think is promoting some events or some benefits of their membership. I could add a hyperlink to that. So if somebody taps on that, they can go to a page which has some signups perhaps. And, we can put YouTube videos on here, but we can also just skip this page completely altogether and redirect to another URL. So if I grab this one from our website and paste it in here, anyone that logs into the Wi-Fi and goes through the process, they're going to get taken straight to the page that you've selected rather than the branded page that we have here. So flexibility there, especially if you've got the redirection URL is extremely useful if you are let's say you're a restaurant, for example, and you have an events page or a promotions page. You just want people to go there because you want them to see those. Well, let's just take them straight there after login. It's much easier than having a step in between. And how does all of that come together? So one of the new things that we have in the dashboard for this year is a login demo from the dashboard. Before, you had to actually connect the router and you had to configure your network in order to go through and see how it looks. But our developers have done some great work and they've created a demo. So if I click that once, it generates, and if I click again, it's going to open up a new tab. And actually, because I've logged into Social Wi-Fi many times, it skipped the first step. So I'm going to turn off auto login. What auto login does is, if a customer is a returning customer, they don't have to go through the entire login process, which is nice because if you are a hotel, you don't want your guests logging in every day. So let's start again. I'm on desktop here. I'm on MacBook. So this is why we have a full screen login preview. Obviously, mobile is going to shrink in the edges. It's optimized for mobile, tablet, desktop, as you would expect. If I go through this process and select any of these login options, it's going to take me through the login process as if I was a user. So let's do this. Connect. I will accept this, and I've got to the welcome page that we created before. So very quickly, we can create some branding, but then we can also see what that looks like in reality by using the functions in the dashboard. If I'm not happy with what I've seen there, I could go back into the pages we took a look at a moment ago and edit them up further. And any changes that you make live in the dashboard, once you've hit save, they are instantly reflected on your actual Wi-Fi network. So this is very much, it is a cloud-based system. It's connected directly to what's happening on your devices in your premises. So that's how we're getting data into your funnel. That's how we are filling up your CRM with known customers. That data flows into the user data tab that we see on the left-hand side of the screen there. I'm not going to click that just in case any customer data appears. I don't want to get in any data protection trouble. So you're just going to have to trust me that the data I just put into that login preview has appeared in that user data tab right there. So goal one is complete. We know who your customers are. If you're a hotel, we know who your guests are. And hotels really like what we do because they get to find out about more of their guests. Often a hotel will only know about who has booked the room. And in some cases, they don't even know that if you book through a third-party website such as Trivago or Booking.com, for example. They don't necessarily give the data to the hotel. So they really want to know who their guests are, but also any guests with the person that booked. A common scenario is that the husband makes a booking, but the wife chose which hotel. So they really want the wife's details because she's the decision maker in the household, it would seem. So yeah, we know who these people are. Just going to pause and have a look through the comments. Do we have anything new to really talk about? Lots of people saying hello. Mostly from YouTube, it would seem. And a bit from Facebook as well. In case you missed it earlier, this is the first time I'm using this software, so I am learning as I go. So please forgive me for the lack of slickness to this presentation. If you've joined us since the beginning, say hello in the chat. Let me know where you're from, and I can give you a hello and a little shout out. We've already ticked off, I think, America, Jamaica, Ghana, Poland, the UK. Where else can we get by the end of this? I would love to get something further east, I think. Maybe Dubai. Maybe we've got anybody in Dubai wants to say hello. Oh, and we've got Ecuador as well. We've got Ecuador joining us. Okay, let's crack on. So we're taking a look at how we're getting that data. It's through the Wi-Fi login process, branded, looks really nice. We think it's the best branding setup that you can get on the market. First impressions count for a lot. So we really want your Wi-Fi pages to look top class. Okay, how can we get your customers coming back and spending money more often? We all want loyal customers. We all want customers who are going to come back and buy from us again. And we all have experience of that as consumers. I'm sure we've all eaten in the same restaurants on more than one occasion. Maybe before COVID, I forget what some of my favorite restaurants were like. Coffee shops the same, maybe hotels as well. But what can we do in order to get your customers coming back more frequently? So because we've gathered email addresses, and often quite a bit more than that, we can send automated emails to those people. So within our mailing system, we have two options. So if you just see that section I've expanded there, we have email automation, and we also have mass mailing. Now, I'm sure you all know what mass mailing is. You take a database, you create an email, and you send everyone the same email at the same time. But we like to be a bit more refined in how we do it. Yes, we give mass mailing, but email automation is a really important part of the Social Wi-Fi service. So if we're going to add automation here, we can give things a name, but the second tab is where things get interesting. We have, I think it's 7 automation types. I think that's 7. And these automations are going to happen based on people's interactions with your Wi-Fi network. So if we start at the top and we take a look at first visit email, this is incredibly popular for the hotel sector. Hotels can send an email based on somebody's first login to the Wi-Fi network. They could even set a delay. So let's say it's a hotel. Most people log into hotel Wi-Fi networks within about 8 minutes, by the way. So this is a great opportunity to get people's attention. So maybe you don't want to deliver that email straight away because people have flown, they've just got to the hotel, they've checked in, they've put the bags down, they want to take a breather. So maybe you want to give them a little bit of time, and you've decided, look, let's give them 15 minutes and then hit them with the email. So in this case, 15 minutes after somebody's first logged into the Wi-Fi network, we could hit them with an email. So let me just give this a name. I'm going to put test on the ends just so I don't lose it. And what we can do is we can create an email to that customer or guest. So in the hotel example, these are super popular for letting people know things that they can do in the hotel. What time breakfast and dinner is served at, how they can order room service, what time checkout is, all those things that they typically tell you on reception when they're giving you the key, and you're just like, yeah, fine, just give me the key. That's a great piece of content to put in this email. And you could also put in your upsells. So again, for hotels, they often have affiliations with local businesses, or they have their own services such as spa facilities, maybe some beach bike hire or windsurfing courses, depending on the type of hotel and where it is. But yeah, this is an opportunity for you to share what you want people to hear at that time, and the way you build up an email is very simple. It's the same as the drag and drop creator we saw for the Wi-Fi login pages. If I get rid of the lorem ipsum here, I could start typing. I don't know, I've not thought about what I want to put here, but let's just say that that's my basic email I want to type. But I could also add in some extra things as well. So maybe I want to put in a YouTube video. I can drag that across, drop that in here. If I select any element on the creator, on the right-hand side, I get more options. So in this case, I get the option to change the URL for the YouTube video, and I can change the width as well. I could do that, make it less wide. What else shall we do here? Let's have a click around. Let's say I want to put two images side by side. I can select columns from the row section. So let's put two there, and let's drag in images. I already have my images here that I've uploaded, but I can drag and drop more images in here. But I could add in one there, and I could do another image, or perhaps let's do the YouTube video again. And yeah, so it's very easy to create a nice email with relevant content. Obviously, this email that I'm creating here isn't the sexiest. I'm kind of freestyling just to show you the flexibility in the system that we have. I think there's a way to do buttons and links. Yeah, so I can select this link one here, and I can change, I can put a URL in there. So if I want to put, book now, I could change the text somewhere on here to say book now. I'm sure I can put that somewhere. Oh yeah, there you go. I just type straight into it. And I changed the URL in the top right-hand corner up there. I can change all my fonts and things. So I'm sure the majority of people watching this have seen and used email drag and drop creators before. It's very similar to that. But the purpose of what I want to show you is the type of automations that we can send. So I've shown, I've explained how a first visit email can be used. Loyalty emails are super cool as well. These are very popular in the gastronomy sectors, restaurants, bars, cafes. We've probably all at some point in our life had a stamp card that gives us a free coffee after so many. We could digitalize that to some extent. We could digitalize the loyalty feedback. So we can set the email trigger to be after a certain visit number. So if we say, look, on the 10th visit, we want to create an email that says, thank you very much for being such a great customer. Here's a link to some sort of a promotion. Or we could set that up to happen every nth visit. So every 10th visit, they get the same email, thank you very much on the 10th and 20th and 30th. Even if you don't offer some sort of reward for being a loyal customer. People generally feel nice about receiving such a thing. They like to be recognized. They like to receive nice things like that. And it's going to build some warm feeling between you and your customer. Not seen in emails, again, really popular with those sectors I've just mentioned, but not exclusively them. You know, this could be used across all sectors in different ways. Most of our automations are based on when people log into the system. This one is based on people not logging into the system. So if I set this to 30 days, what's going to happen is, and the email that you will create will be sent to that user if they haven't logged into your Wi-Fi system in 30 days. So someone has logged into the Wi-Fi, they're a known customer, but they haven't come back for 30 days. That's a lost customer. You want that person to come back and spend more money. So give them a reason to come back. Let them know about the events that you have upcoming. Maybe give them some sort of promotion in order to incentivize them coming back. What have you got to lose? It's a customer you had. It's a customer that has not come back. Send something that is going to get you back in their mind to come back and visit you again and spend money with you. If you're hotels, maybe you'll make that something bigger, 300 days. Maybe you want people to book their annual vacation with you. Whereas if you are a bar or a restaurant, maybe 30 days is ideal for you. The use cases for each of these automations is different for each sector, but they're very flexible. I can find a case for any sector to use any of these automations. And we can keep going down. Login email is the same as the first visit email, but it happens on every login, but only once every 30 days. So if somebody comes on day 1 and they come on day 45, they'll get the email twice. If they come on day 1, 2, 3, and 4, they'll only get it once. So we don't want to be spamming people with the same message time and time again. Goodbye emails. These are really popular with the hotel sector. We are able to roughly detect when people leave the Wi-Fi network. You don't log out of Wi-Fi networks, you kind of disconnect from them. And if you don't reconnect in a certain amount of time, we can send an email again. So these are very popular with hotels because they can send up follow-up questionnaires. We have our review system, which we'll come on to in the next part of the webinar. But some businesses want to get more. They have a questionnaire. They want to get more detailed feedback. That's a great thing to deliver with this. Also, not just hotels, but other sectors can do something similar. You've just left. You want them to book their next visit, their next stay. Give maybe there's some sort of promo code you want to put in there. Thanks for staying with us. Get 5% off if you book for 2022 by using this code. Those kind of things are hugely popular because when people finish a holiday, they like to instantly start looking at booking their next one. So maximize your chances of doing that. What else do we have? Post-rating email. So we'll come on to, I'm going to come back to this because we've got the review system coming up. And this is a really useful thing to manage your reputation and feedback. So I'm going to come back to post-rating email. And birthday email, I don't think I need to explain this in too much detail. We gather the birthdays of a lot of Wi-Fi users, not all of them, depends on the login method, but you want people to come and celebrate their birthday with your business. Whether you are a shopping mall, you want people to come and do their shopping spree there. If you're a restaurant, you want to have their meal there. Hotel, maybe a weekend break. You want people to visit you in and around the time of their birthday. So set up a campaign that sets the amount of days before their birthday. If you want something to go on their birthday saying happy birthday, set that to 0 and edit your template and you're good to go. You don't have to send only one of these. You can set up campaigns of these. So the birthday email For example, you might set up an email to go 30 days before their birthday. Hey, your birthday's upcoming. Don't forget, book with us. Do it again with 14 days to go, maybe with 7, and layer those campaigns so you're getting the right message across throughout the time. But this is a really great way to send relevant communications to people at the right time. Mass mailing's great, but these emails go based on what people have done with your business. I'm sure some of you received an email from us to join this webinar, and you may not have interacted with us for a long time. And that's great. We've reconnected with you. But also, there've been a lot of people that just didn't respond to that. But connecting with people at the time they're actually at your business and spending money is a really good way to go. So there's a lot you can do with our email automations. It's relatively simple to use once you've got used to it. But the whole idea behind these email automations is we're trying to drive loyalty. We are trying to get your existing customers coming back to you. We want them to spend more money with you more often. And that's what this part of the system is all about. So I'm going to take a pause for breath for a few moments and also give you a break from my voice. If anyone can work out where my accent is from, drop it in the comments and I will let anyone know if they are correct. Also, if anyone's got any questions at this stage, it's a good idea to note them down, and I can pick up some of these as we go. It's quite unusual just talking to myself and hoping that people are listening to me. It's quite unnerving, shall we say. I have a question here about, can I put my Facebook pixel? Yes, you can. I wasn't planning on doing that, but you can embed Facebook pixels on all of the pages that we display. So all of the login pages, the review system pages. I think we also put them in emails where we can. And it's very simple to do. One of the sections on the dashboard is integrations. And then we have remarketing. And we just click add and we paste in the code for the Facebook pixel. And what else? We could do the same with Google remarketing code. And then you just need to go into your ad manager and set targeting based on those things. So yes, you can. We've actually got some webinars planned just around the pixel integrations, because it's a really powerful part of the service. Retargeting people, creating lookalike groups, some really cool things you can do with that. Yeah, so as I mentioned, you set a question about the email automation. Yeah, you can create more than one of the same type of automation. So you can see here that I've got two of the same. I can activate both of them. And yes, to answer the second part of your question, we do track how many emails we've sent and how many have been opened as well. We're not tracking bounce rates yet, but that is something that we have in our development roadmap. Okay, I'm going to move on to online reviews and why we believe they are so important. This is how we want to get you new people coming through your door. We want to use your existing customers to recommend you on the internet, which is why we will send everybody that logs into your Wi-Fi network an email that looks like this. Very easy email. You can customize this. You can see here we've taken the default branding from previous pages. But we're just asking people to tap one of the stars. And what we do after that is going to determine whether we ask them to go leave that review on the internet or we ask them for feedback. So I'm just going to roll back, I don't know, 45 minutes. We want reviews online because the data I showed earlier shows that 70% of people trust online reviews. So people go to websites like TripAdvisor, they look on your Google page to see what other people think of your business. Are you trustworthy? Do people enjoy? Do they recommend your business? If you have enough 5-star, 4-star reviews, if that balance of positive to negative looks good, they're probably going to choose your business. So how can we get you more of those positive reviews? Well, we can ask your customers to start with. I would be really intrigued to know how many businesses on a daily basis ask their customers for an online review. And I'm going to guess it's not very many because they don't have any mechanism to ask people for their feedback, and if it's positive, to put that online. The only way I can think of it are table cards or the staff actually asking people to go online and do that. So we want to follow up digitally after people's visits. We send them a really nice email like this. I can fully customize this. If you don't like stars, you can have emojis based on different styles. And if you prefer, you can have some cats. But for me, I like to go with the stars. Now, when are we going to send this email? Good question there. We can send that whenever you want. That's the simple answer. We can send this email based on a Wi-Fi login or a Wi-Fi logout. Not a logout exactly, but roughly when people disconnect from the network. By default, we'll set something up. I think it's like 15 hours after login. I'm not 100% sure, but you can go into the settings and set this up for your business. So if you're a cafe or a coffee shop, 3 hours after login seems reasonable. You probably had your coffee and left, and you're doing something else. Good time to get that email. If you're a hotel, you don't want 3 hours after login because you just got to the hotel. What have I got to review this on? So why don't we go for 1 day after disconnection? Because why leave it a day? Well, if you are a hotel in Bali, for example, you probably attract a lot of Australian or European visitors. They have got a long journey back home. They are probably a bit tired and exhausted. You want them to get back. You want them to get things, get some sense of order back in their life, and send them an email when they're in more of a zone to leave you feedback. So we'll send that email based on your preferences. You set that up in the settings. You just select the time delay and you're good to go. You can set a reminder as well. So if people don't respond to that email within 72 hours, we'll send it again. And you can also determine what you consider to be a positive rating. Now, If your average review score on all of your websites is 4.7, 4-star review may not be good for you. You may be only happy with 5-star reviews going online. Likewise, you may be a 2-star hotel or a fast food diner, and you're happy with a 3-star. You can select what you consider to be positive. You can go from having all reviews being pushed to the internet to just the very best. And where do we want people to go with the positive reviews? This slider determines the landing page people are going to get after they leave a review. So I'm going to show you those pages in a moment, but I just want to quickly touch on that we can ask people to post the review on 7 websites. We integrate with TripAdvisor, Yelp, Zomato, Facebook, Trustpilot, Google, and Holiday Check. Some of these are regional specific, some of these are global, but those are the websites that we can ask people to go and leave that online review on. And you can edit these at any time. You just paste in the URL of your page, and we're going to do the rest on your landing pages. So let's very quickly just jump back to the email. I set the settings at I consider a 4-star review or above to be positive. So let's take a look at what we're going to do if somebody clicks 4 or 5 stars. We're going to take them to a landing page. It's a web page. Also works on mobile, as you'd expect. That, again, it's fully branded. You can put what you want here. But by default, I like to put, thank you very much for your positive feedback. I'm trying to use personal emotive language here. Thank you for your feedback. We'd really appreciate it if you shared your review online. It's not Social WiFi asking for that. It's not your business. It's the people working in the business. There's a personal element to this. You can put whatever you prefer here if you're less, if your way of speaking is not quite like mine. But yeah, you can see beneath all of this, though, that we have the links to the websites that I have chosen. So in this case, I chose Google and Facebook. Anyone that receives this page can then choose, well, I have the Facebook app on my phone, or I'm used to using Google reviews. I can click that, and it's going to take me directly to that web page with the review box already open. So from getting the email, within 2 clicks, I could be leaving a positive review about your business online. It's really slick. It's, minimal touch points. We do have this feedback box at the bottom here. We have that minimized because any feedback that people put here is only going to go into the inbox section of the dashboard. And who's going to see that? It's going to be you and your staff. It's no good. You want the positive things online. So yeah, you get the email, 2 clicks. If it's positive, they are going to be on your page ready to leave that review. Maybe I can preview what one of these links looks like. Copy link address. So this is what I mean. It's not just taking me to a web page. I have the box there ready to go in order to put some details in of why I'm happy, why I recommend this place to other people. Okay, questions. Can we go to booking.com? No, you can't. To leave a review on booking.com, you need to book through booking.com. So this is why the review sites that we have are limited to the ones that you see here. These are the ones that are happy for anybody to post on those websites. You don't have to have bought or ordered through these websites. What else do we have? Yeah, my accent's British, so you're reasonably close, but more marks if you can work out which part of England. Can we push the reviews directly there? No, we can't. They would just, that's just against all of the rules of all of these websites. It's no different to from their perspective, it's no different to a bot writing lots of reviews, and nobody wants that. They'll probably get their page banned themselves. We'll get banned bad for everybody. So, you know, we can only ask and encourage people to go that one step further. Good question though, one we get often. Actually, you know what? Let's just quickly do something. Let's remove the Facebook page because that was the wrong button. Because if you have only one review site here, we're not going to show that page I just showed you. So here, I've only got Google now. If I go back into the positive rating page, you can see I can no longer edit this page. And the reason for that is you've said you only want people with positive reviews to go to Google. So let's just cut out the middle page and just take them straight to Google. Let's make the amount of clicks that people need to do as few as possible. Interesting story or fact on this is I like talking about Amazon because they're so successful. But if you ever look at how many clicks and button presses you need to make in order to sign up to an Amazon account or make an Amazon purchase, it's a lot less than other e-commerce sites. I remember being told that years ago, and it's something that stuck with me. So we follow the same principles here. We want to minimize the amount of work people have to do to leave you feedback online. Okay. Any more questions? No, we don't. We're nearly finished, and we have more people watching than at any point during the webinar. So, yeah, I'm pleased we're getting the numbers up though. Welcome to all of you. Okay, so not everyone's going to be happy. That's a fact of life. If you speak to any of my staff, they will tell you that I can be unhappy quite frequently, and I can hit a 1-star review as much as the next person. So what are we going to do in that case? We don't want them going to TripAdvisor and venting. So we take them to a different landing page, looks very similar, but we have that feedback box is the only thing that they can interact with. So default wording here, we're sorry we didn't fully meet your expectations. You can change that. If somebody's messed up and they've hit 1-star instead of 5-star, I don't know, it happens. They can change that for 24 hours afterwards. We do actually get emails replying to the emails that we send saying, oh, I'm sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Can I do it again? So people do make those mistakes. But generally, people leaving a negative review, 99% of the time, they do have some things they want to get off their chest. So we give them this feedback box to share their opinions. And that when somebody clicks that send feedback button, you as somebody with access to the Social Wi-Fi dashboard are going to get an email from us saying that you have new feedback, because those messages can be read in the inbox. Oh, we don't have anything in here yet. That's a shame. But it looks like your email inbox. You're going to see the person's details, their name. Have you read it? Have you replied to that? And if you click on any of those emails that you've received, you can reply to them directly from the inbox in Social Wi-Fi. You'll also see the email address of the people. So if you want to just copy that and take it, to your own corporate inbox, you can. But we're trying to give you the tools here to handle negative feedback. I'm one for my research and my stats, and one of the ones that I really like is that 91% of people will give business a second chance if they fix a complaint efficiently and into a satisfactory manner. Which again, I find to be an incredible statistic, because what the research went on to say was, if somebody has a bad experience and you fix that, the problem that they had in a good way, they're actually more likely to come back to you again. And if you fix it in such a way that they're impressed with your level of service, they'll actually recommend you to other people. It's really fascinating, the psychology behind a business dealing with a complaint efficiently. It actually boosts people's feelings towards your business. So that's why we have these tools in order for you to handle complaints proactively, and not just wait for them to appear on TripAdvisor or on the internet. So really big part of the social Wi-Fi system. We want online reviews because it's going to get people drawn towards your business. You're going to rise to the top of the rankings in your local area. And by managing the complaints in a good way, you're gonna have less people. They can get things off their chest before they even get to Facebook, where they could write a nasty post about you. So we're giving people an outlet and a chance for you to put things right. I've gone past an hour now. It's I ideally didn't want to take this long, but when I get talking, it's hard to stop me. I did say I would go back to one of the email automations, so I'm going to do that because I hate to disappoint. Post rating email. You can send an email automation after somebody has left you a review, and I've already shown you the editor, so I'm not going to go back over that. I'm just going to give you an example of why you would set up one of these automations. So we can select, if someone leaves you a positive rating, you can send an email on a delay. If you want no delay, just select 0 minutes, but I would not recommend doing that. Maybe 1 hour after they've left that, it could just be an email saying, thank you very much for the feedback. We really appreciate it. I'll share it with the team. Just make people feel valued and that their feedback has been acknowledged and read. After a negative rating, this is brilliant because you don't have to go into the inbox and see did they leave you a message, because they don't always leave comments. They just hit 1 star and that's it. Send them an email saying, you're disappointed to see that they have had a bad experience. It matters to you. You'd really appreciate it if they would share more details, perhaps even leave a contact number so that they can give you a call to talk through any problems. Show people that you care. You've received negative feedback. As I said a few moments ago, if you handle the next bit right, your reputation is going to go up. So automate that process and send a follow-up email afterwards saying that you want to find out more, you want to be in touch with that person, you want them to come back to your business, you want to see them again. So you are busy as a business owner running your business, serving hotel guests, serving great coffee, great meals. You don't necessarily have a lot of time in your day to be handling these kind of interactions, which is why a lot of it is automated. And that is what you're buying the data essentially from Social Wi-Fi. When you're buying a license from us, you're buying the knowledge of who your customers are, but you're also buying the time-saving benefits of email campaigns, based on people's interactions, gathering those online reviews, responding to feedback. The time savings are also, a key part of what we're offering you here. So, look, I have more things I could go through. I can see people asking questions about things that I haven't gone through in this video yet. We have other webinars coming up on a lot of those topics, and keep a lookout on your emails and our Eventbrite page to sign up for those. But I've touched on the key things that we offer, but we do offer things like Zapier integrations, getting the customer data out of our system into the other systems that you're using. We have a fully functioning permissions system, whereby you can add people with different permission levels. They can do different things in the system. They can handle different venues because a lot of our clients are multi-venue businesses, restaurant chains, for example. They don't want the general manager of the store in New York to see the customer data of the store in Chicago, for example. You can use login codes. So if you want people to have to put in a password to unlock the login system, you can do things like that too. So there are things that I've not gone through here, which we'll cover in other webinars. But for now, I'm going to just give everyone a chance to ask any final questions that they might have. So hit the comments if there's anything really burning you want to ask now. And if you are on this webinar and you have not yet used Social Wi-Fi, you can go to our website, socialwifi.com, hit 14 days for free, and you can register for the service right away. If you also follow that up with an email to sales@socialwifi.com, we'll extend your trial period with us. And the same applies to anyone on this webinar that is on a trial with us right now. If you're watching this and you've got this far, send us an email at sales@socialwifi.com. Let us know, and I'll extend your trial for a little bit with us. But any final questions? I don't think so. So I'm going to wrap it up here, and I'm going to say thank you for joining me on the webinar. It's been fun. And I'm going to do more of these for sure. I'm really pleased with the amount of people that joined this. So hopefully it's been as valuable to you as it has to me. And if you got any feedback, I'd love to hear it. Write to us on that email address I mentioned before. So thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of your days.